time for the visit with the person of high strangeness. We coming in the studio, we was kind of laughing a little bit because over a 3-month period, I had taken you all around the United States, and so I really didn't want to do any more travel shows. So I put a call out to the universe, and I said I'd like to have some live guests, now meaning live, like in the studio. And universe came right back with it and brought me a whole family that is going to visit with us today. But guess what? We're going to take you even further away than the United States. So in a way, we're going to combine travel with some other things. My phone is on in case it rings. I need the phone. We are having a new addition to my family. His name is Canty Evanley. And if my phone rings, we have to go to the hospital and greet him and welcome him into the world. Now, I believe what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a map about where we're going to take you, and then I'm going to introduce you to our guests. We're going to Papua New Guinea, and we're going to Indonesia. And just so you know, those are the vicinities we're going to talk about today. Many of you are really familiar with that area because of the tsunami in 2004. And so that's where we're going to go today. Okay? So I'm going to introduce you to my guests, and we have the whole Sang family here. We're going to start with you, Keith. This is Keith. Luna. Ooh, I did it. Mesa, how are you? And
Annie.
Annie. And so if we hit our mics or anything, it's just how it happens. Now, Sang is German and means...
German. It means blacksmith tongs. Tongs that a blacksmith would use for the metal.
Mm-hmm. So we fully expect you to put our viewers in a vice today,
yes.
so we can get them going. And how long have you been in this country?
I've been here 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
That's quite a while.
Over 15 years, little over 15 years.
I remember when I said 15 years, I was young then. I feel you were 40. And Mesa.
Mesa.
You was born in the United States, huh? Yeah? You go to school yet? You do? And you? You can talk? Mm-hmm. What grade are you in?
Second.
In second grade?
Mm-hmm.
You like it where you live?
Yeah.
Do you know where you live? Don't give the address, just the town. Now, supposing you was a lost child. Where do you live? Tell me, where do you live?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you say Elma?
We're not telling. There might be a reason for that. We're just not going to tell you where they live at this point. I think what we're going to do here is... this is so cute. So what we're going to do for a minute here... Excuse me, Keith was nice enough to bring us a couple of things and some music. We don't want to play the music right this minute, but when you brought my inserts, you brought pictures, you brought video from
New Guinea.
So tell us real brief how you got from, well, you don't know where you live, to New Guinea.
Well, I actually was a Peace Corps volunteer there, and I one day woke up and thought, well, I've always wanted to go in the Peace Corps, so why not give them a call? And I gave them a call, and within 2 days I had an application. I filled it out, and within several months I was in New Guinea.
In New Guinea, yeah. Now we have a clip from New Guinea, and what you see behind us is also people from New Guinea. So if we play that first clip, and the name of the show is Talk Easy. That means?
Pretty much sitting around talking and telling story. What they say in New Guinea is telling stories.
Yeah. So we're going to go there first, and it's almost self-explanatory because the people, you're just going on the road.
We're going on the road. Where I lived was Kiunga, and up up the road was a copper mine called Intabubul, and that was the only road we had in and out of the area, and it was a very well-traveled road, and a lot of villages were along the road there, and we'd go up and down the road, meet people, and one day I just started taking some video, and they came out, and we're very glad to be filmed. Yeah.
Yeah, lucky us. So we're going to go to Guinea first, and here we go. It was just fascinating, so we'll go there first. How's that? Yeah.
One man on the side of the road here, walking. There's some people. You gonna talk pigeon or?
Do we have audio with them?
You gonna come along where? Ah. Ah. All right. Yeah, you can swim to the video test off. Okay. Normal people who's already stopped along this long road. Yeah, no. All right, thank you. Okay, this is Papa belongs Stephen Toy.
Nej, mi got hat belong me.
I'm not.
Simple more come. Hello.
Keithy working film.
We're going to put a lick video here. Oh, one for the car, you come. Put más clear. Here comes the car.
All right. Okay, look at you.
All right. This is all line belong. Yankanai. No, Metcomnai. Metcomnai. This is Tope. There's a village, you can hear the chickens. We're on the bridge. Tope Bridge. There's Rob all the way down there.
I'll take a picture if you take a picture of me.
Okay.
See these canoes down here?
I got plenty of pictures of canoes. Keep canoes. I hear some birds. Very exciting. Push. Very exciting.
So, did you ever talk to Bud about his raise?
Yeah.
Did he get a raise or did you take it back?
That's not the end, I don't think. There's a little, there's your friend is on there. The one with the, maybe we want to go back to that. Your friend that has the...
Jack, who had the ice block.
The ice block factory, yeah. So we'll go back to the clip here for a minute. Yeah.
Mark it. Going to Jack's house. Jack. Coming to see Jack. How you doing?
I'm alright. How's the trip up over?
Good. It's Jack's house. That's his ice block factory. Jack Angus. Good. It's Jack's house. That's his ice block factory. Jack Angus's ice block factory. That's Jack Angus himself.
So when did you come down? When did you left over?
8.
So
Yeah, it's almost 11.
Rascal driver,
Uh-huh.
lady first.
Anna! Yeah. Come here. This is Anna, Jack's wife.
Now that was the end of the clip, yeah. Now, how could he have an ice block factory in the middle of this heat?
Well, because that's why he did such great business.
Uh-huh.
Because it was all, he had electricity, and he was able to have his freezers going. Of course, then he would make them, and everybody would want one because it was so hot. And
Uh-huh. And was that taken in winter or in summertime?
well, it's the same all year round. We're just a few degrees off the equator. So the only thing that differentiates the seasons is either it's wet or it's really dry.
Now, one of my viewers wanted me to ask something. Evidently, she saw on a TV show where somebody donated a lot of dolls to African nations, to children. They didn't want to play with it, and I think I want to ask you, did you see the children play with dolls? Or?
Not too much. They didn't play with a whole lot of different toys. It was pretty much very traditional, and especially as you moved farther away into the bush, into the villages, they were mostly busy working, helping around the family, and didn't have a whole lot of time to play. So.
Yeah. You also brought music from, it's a very short music clip here somewhere with some of the traditional music.
Yeah, a friend of mine was an anthropologist, and he was up the river. We lived on the Fly River, and it was a village called Dome, and they were having a house dance. It was 2 tribes getting together, and it was kind of a solidarity thing. And the men were in this house that was about 10 feet off the ground, and in the middle was a lot of the friends and family. And then they'd all hold hands and dance around in a circle in the house.
Yeah, and that's the music of the. I almost wanted to laugh because I was talking to Dr. Jordan last night, one of our scientists, and we were talking about anthropologists up the river.
Yeah.
And you spent how long there?
I was there for 2 years.
2 years.
And it was one of the more fairly remote areas of the country. Now, New Guinea is fairly remote as it is, and where I was even more remote. There was no roads in or out. You had to either come by plane or by boat.
Now, there's a difference between this Guinea and the one on the west of Africa, right? On the west coast. Now, see, I'm from northern Africa. So, but you're talking about total bush where you were, right?
Right. There was, I think the population density was only 1 person per square mile.
Oh, my.
And everybody was clustered in small villages, and the rest, especially as you fly over in planes, would be nothing but trees and bush and a small village here and there dotting the landscape.
So when you started your journey, and I'll talk to you in just a minute here, I'm not ignoring you. Excuse me. So when you started your journey, by any chance at all, did you think it was gonna take you from here to here to here, to the point where you are now, or you just did this out of the kindness of your heart, right?
Yes. That's one of those things where you start at point A and end up at point C, and
Yeah.
here we are.
And your motive for we have pictures of some of the natives. We would like to take a look at. There you go. And was this an everyday thing? That's
Some of these pictures came from
talk
what was,
about that for a minute.
yeah, some of these pictures came from the Garoka show, and it's a time when once a year all the tribes get together and they have,
Like a powwow.
yeah, it's like a competition. Whoever can dance and with the traditional what they call bilas or traditional clothing, they get on their finest and dance, and it was a competition, and some of it would be for money and some of it would be for just kind of status.
And see, we had part of the opening shot was actually of a photograph that we'll get it up there here in a few minutes, because then I want to leave New Guinea here in a few minutes and then find out how your journey continue here. So how many more we have? We have two more pictures there, no? We want to show those, and then so we know what we're talking about here. And little ones are doing great, by the way. You're doing real great. Just don't hit your mic, okay? Yeah. So you thought you was going to do this out of kindness of your heart or for your country. Which one? Both. And so now, is that another? That's the same picture, isn't it?
Well, to answer that question about the reason I did it, some people go into the military and serve their country in that way, and I felt that I would serve my country in a manner of peace as opposed to a military position. And so I traveled to New Guinea, which is exactly where I wanted to go. They gave me a choice, and that was my first choice, and I ended up there.
That was in peacetime. You see how easy that was? Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we can't do that here. That's that one that I like.
Yeah, that's where the music came from. Now, the shaking and the rattling that you heard, they had a branch with a bunch of seeds that were stuck in their back belt, and as they would dance, it would make that shaking noise, that rattling noise. And
okay, and then that's one more picture where but that looks like that's an everyday thing where they just sit around.
Yeah, that was what's called a muumuu. It's a traditional way of cooking. They heat up hot stones, and they take the food and put it in banana leaves, put it on the hot stones, cover it with more hot stones, put some earth over the top, and let it cook for a while. It's called a muumuu, and when the food comes out, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, now, how did you get from New Guinea to where any of us?
Well, I had a friend, Joe, and he wanted to take a trip.
Joe, yeah.
No, that was another friend of mine, but I had another friend who was Hungarian, and he had the company there. And where New Guinea is, it's right on the border between New Guinea and Indonesia, and where I was located was right on the border. So it was very easy to catch a flight over the border into Indonesia, into Jayapura, and that's where I met Annie.
Okay. So now it's your turn. So here comes this man, and then what? Did you?
I met him that day when he just arrived from PNG with his friend. And then I talked to him and I said, well, maybe we can go out for dinner. And he said, yeah, with a bunch of friends and everything. So, but he said, yes, go out to dinner. And then, oh, maybe we have a dinner at my house. My mom will cook Indonesian food. But he said, oh, that'd be good. And he said, yes. And I was asking him, well, maybe you can stay here. And he thought like so serious, yes. But actually, I cannot have a guest, especially like foreigners, strangers stay there in my house.
Is that customary, or was there more involved? Did you recognize him on some level, or he just fell out of the sky for you here? Be careful on your mic.
I think my first impression toward him that he kind of like kind of person, and every time I say I have idea to go out for dinner, he say yes, and he just very desire to do everything what I suggest, and like, oh, let's go have a dinner at my house.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
I want to go to a different level. I want to go to a different level. Help me if you can. Where I'm trying to go. You're in New Guinea, you're in Indonesia. You invite him for dinner, say you want to stay here, and he says, well, yeah, but he didn't stay there.
No, he didn't. He could not stay there because my parents will allow him to stay there.
Okay, but that's not what I mean. On a different level, go to a different level. We talked about past, help me here. You were talking about past lives earlier.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the connection why she was picking on you in the first place.
Well, how I first met her, which I don't think she clarified, was she was working in a hotel. And my friend Joe and I were looking for somewhere to stay, and there was a hotel where he had usually stayed. And it was full that time, so we had to go to another place. But we connected very quickly, and it was like almost instantaneous a connection. And so I first asked her, I said, do you want to go out? And she said, yeah.
That's not what she said. She said she asked you to go out.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing was that she was also a tour guide. So one of the first things that really brought us together was, finding out about the area. So then she invited me to her home with her family and got a home-cooked meal, and it was great.
You come from a matriarchal society?
Male-dominated.
Yes,
Be careful with your mic, sweetie, here.
pretty much. And military too. Military.
Yeah. But we want to go through the past life thing. Earlier, when we first started this, we were talking about the fact that you thought you recognized each other. That's where I was trying to go with that.
She was the first English-speaking person I met, and the universe brought us together right away. And we have been together before in a couple past lives, and we were meant to connect in this life.
Now, did you know that at that time, or
No.
did all this come later?
I wasn't as aware as I am now
Yeah.
about past lives and connecting again. And it just happened so quickly. After a week, we were pretty much in love.
We have some behind us here. We want to talk about that for a minute. That was dinner, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's leave that back here for a minute. And you said to make sure to talk about that dinner for a minute, because we are going to a different country. We are going to a different custom. Tell me about that dinner.
At that time, I think my uncle make like a green vegetable, like stir fry, and then look like a fish,
Barbecued fish.
barbecue fish, and rice, and actually they have some specialty there. Maybe he will explain it to you.
Well, the reason that's there is actually I requested it's dog.
It's dog.
Dog meat.
And it's dog meat, and I'm a person who likes to try everything, even though I may not eat it again. And at that time I asked, they said, well, we can get you some dog if you want. I said, well, I'd like to try it. And so they brought it, and I did. It's a fairly common custom
Right,
in
yeah.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, because we just have different customs. But it was important to him for us to
I
talk
don't eat
about
dog
that.
meat though.
Yeah. Well, I've eaten kangaroo and all kinds of different things,
Yeah.
and that is included in people's diets. Okay, now, if you got married, then eventually get married there, or you get married here?
Well, we actually got married fairly quickly. After a week, my friend Joe and I went through the rest of Southeast Asia, went up to Singapore and Thailand. Came back, I spent another week with Annie, and by that time we decided we wanted to get married. And so I talked to the family, and there had to still be a little bit of negotiation there. And so I went back to New Guinea for 4 months. We wrote. They talked to some of the spiritual leaders in their area, and then it was agreed that we would get married. And after my time in New Guinea was over, I came back over the border, and within 6 days we were married. So we spent in the flesh together only 3 weeks.
Now, is it traditionally, not religiously, but what is the country mostly? Is it traditional or Buddhist?
Catholic, I think.
Catholic?
No,
Yeah.
no, the country is Muslim, but you
Oh,
were
the
Catholic.
Muslim, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, but we married as
But her
Catholic.
family was Catholic.
Yes.
They were in the minority
yeah,
religiously.
yeah.
I think that's why we were able to get married, because I was raised Catholic and she was raised Catholic. But
So that was easier for your visa too, I would assume, huh?
yeah, and so but Indonesia is the largest population of Muslims in the world.
Yeah,
They're 80% Muslim.
yeah. Now, excuse me. Indonesia came to the forefront with the tsunami. And then of course there wasn't very much pictures that we could see from before. Now, you come from that area, or is
No, I'm not come from.
you come not from that area?
No, that is a different island. That's a Sumatra island. I came from Java Island.
Java.
Yeah, Java Island. Yeah.
Well,
I think you have
when,
Java.
if you remember, Justin, you can hit your mic on. Be careful now, please. Justin Wright is from that area, and in fact, that's where him and his bride was going to go and live, and so they were kind of glad they eventually didn't do that. And so now, what we want to do now is we're going to bring you to Washington State, and we're going to take you right down to here, this is, explain this, is a market?
That is a gamelan center. We went to the central of Java. We call it, the city called Yogyakarta. Yogyakarta is the city with a lot of the history about the center history about Java culture and everything, and that's look like a gamelan center. So there's a lot of people.
And gamelan is a traditional music.
Oh, gamelan. I kept hearing gambling.
No, gamelan.
Okay.
Yeah.
How exciting. So, somewhere along the line, we're going to put those photos back behind us. So in the meantime, we're going to bring you stateside now. We got another clip coming here, and we're going to take you to where your life takes place now. And there was some good photography you did there. And then we're going to talk to the young ones. So could we go to the clip from the Washington coast with audio, please? Yeah, no. And then we're going to talk about how you got up here. Yeah. That's going to be a long, hard hour.
This is
for you,
Tohola,
sweetie.
Washington,
You go.
out here on the coast. This is the village of the Quinault Indian Nation. This is the main street going downtown. And right next to that, Quinault River. And there you're looking at the fish house where they process fish that are caught here on the river. Salmon, steelhead. And then here is the mouth of the river where it meets the ocean. Here's another view of Tohola from the beach. Looking upriver. And we're standing at the mouth of the river. And here is basically where the river meets the Pacific Ocean. The beach here is very rocky, with some sand, and looking down the beach, looking south towards Point Granville. And here's one more look south at the beach. strewn with logs. It's a very Here's one look from the beach, looking out towards the cape at the ocean. This is a view looking south towards Point Granville down the beach. You can see the logs. And in wintertime, the ocean is very strong with storms. This is a shot looking west down the Quinault River. See many of the fishing nets out. This is where the famous Quinault blueback salmon is. Here we have a Quinault fisherman checking his nets.
Go, they said go. I don't know where, but I know where we've been. We've been in New Guinea, we've been in Indonesia, we've been to the Quinault Reservation, and so I guess we're back here. Now what I wanna get to the present here, and your compassion for Native. Is that how you got here?
Yes. After leaving New Guinea, I came back to Chicago, where I'm from.
Oh, Chicago.
And then
That's Native.
and then from there, I got a job with the Quinault Indian Nation, and where I currently am now, as the community health director, and that's been a wonderful experience. People are very friendly, very beautiful, and I've been there a long time because it's been such a great place to be. Yeah.
And then, and how do you fit into this now? What do you do?
Oh, I'm a stay-home mom.
Oh, stay-home mom?
Yes.
A lot of work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's fun though.
Be careful with her mic here. Now, by coincidence, it turns out we have a mutual friend. We have mutual friends.
Randy Shaw.
Randy Shaw, they make some music for us. And so can we go to your place for a minute? Because I'm sure you have a lot of work other than being a stay-home mom.
She's a lot more than just a stay-home mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both working together, doing.
That's what I want
Yes,
to talk
all of
about.
the enlightenment and all of the energy healing and everything.
Doing Reiki.
I
Doing
can't
Reiki.
understand, I'm sorry.
Oh, we both working together doing energy healing.
Energy
Reiki and
healing.
AM.
Right, okay. So you are an author and you are a Reiki master, and so are you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, now I want to go to the children. And then you was born in the United States, were they?
Yes.
So how do you feel about the whole thing? You have to talk up a little bit.
Do you like to do Reiki, or what do you like to do?
I like to do Reiki a little bit.
And how old are you?
7.
Okay. What does it feel like to do Reiki when you're 7 years old?
Well,
Your hands.
Yeah. With my hands and
Well, I can tell you when she does Reiki on me, her hands get really warm, and you can feel the energy just flows. Same with Mesa, because they're just so open, they just let the energy flow. They don't even think about it.
I'm not sure, but I think that especially when we have multicultural family settings, I think there's a genetic part there that almost makes it. What I'm looking for, it makes it genetically where you end up having to do something like that.
Yeah.
You want to expand on that?
Well, we work together so well, and, with the family, and I think also when you're talking multicultural, you have to come together and not only compromise, but it also makes you stronger as a family, bringing two cultures together. And so that's happened with Annie and I, and then that translates into what the children are doing too, the knowledge and all that we pass down.
Yeah, no, I come from a multicultural family, and that's really kind of interesting sometimes, because the average person never thinks about that part too, and the responsibility towards the children is so much greater than we would have. So, are you raising your children as Americans or as everything?
Both.
Both?
Yes.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah. And we teach them both culture too.
That's wonderful.
Because I come from a different culture. Indonesian, and I taught some of this to my kid too, and kid taught some of those to them too. So we both make teach.
That's really wonderful, because when I came and I had children, I wanted them to be American, and so there was no second language, no nothing, and just a few years later, I realized I was heading in the wrong direction, but then it was too late. So now the grandchildren, they going back to the old ways, when I'm allowed to do that. So it's wonderful that you started them multiculturally.
Well, with family members that are going to be visiting from Indonesia, they're going to almost have to be able to at least speak some Indonesian, especially connecting with Annie's mother, who speaks just very little English, and she'll be visiting us, and so to interact and to be able to have a relationship, they're going to have to speak some Indonesian.
Now, I understand you have a retreat.
We do. We have the Moonglow Enlightenment Center up near Satsap, which is near Elma, and we have 5 acres there that we've created a space for people to come and learn and relax, and we teach Reiki and all types of healing modalities, spiritual type connecting and mediumship.
Now, so eventually when we show you the closing shot, which is actually a UFO over Shelton, Washington, which is right up the highway from...
Just down the road.
Down the road, so it would surprise you, because Elma, that's the Aberdeen, Elma, Wainuchi area where you have a lot of strange occurrences. So why did you settle there? Be careful what you might hit.
We started looking for property. We lived in Pacific Beach for 9 years, which was near where I was working, near Tahola. And gradually we wanted to get some property and open a center. And the center the space from where we were, the distance just kept getting longer and longer, finding a property. And one day I just got an intuitive message, go up the road. And I went up there, and there was a big sign nailed to a tree. It wasn't on any real estate list. And I drove up there and looked out the mountains, and it was up on a ridge, and I said, this is it. This is where we're going to live. So I have to commute a bit every day, but it's worth it.
In a couple of weeks, you're going to come back, and we're going to specifically talk about your book in detail. Now, did I leave out anything at all that's important on a cultural or spiritual level in your structure here?
Well, I think with our children, the children's names, Luna and Mesa. Luna is more artistically oriented, and in fact, she was named before she was born, and she was actually born on a summer full moon.
Wow.
It was big, orange, giant full moon. And Mesa, she's more earth-oriented. She's more grounded. And she's kind of the flat top mountain, Mesa is. And
You grounded.
she's the
That's
grounded
what he
one.
thinks. Yeah.
And so that's where their names came from, and they seem to be really kind of progressing down that path.
In recent years, I think we've really tried to pick names more fitting the person arriving. Is this the same way you come from?
Yeah, in Indonesia, if you're talking about pick a name for the children, especially in a Java traditional, they look at many different things. Like they look at a certain day, they will look at a boy or girl, they pick the name, and then they have to do many ritual things.
Rituals, yeah.
But that's when I look at in a old way, though. But I don't know the new generation more likely leaning toward Western name. I heard that a lot of people who have children now, they pick up name like easy name like American way. I guess they look at morely Western name. I guess like.
Now, did you take a Western name when you came?
Western
When you came
name?
to the United States, or was that your name?
Oh, it's my name, my real name. My parent.
Do you know what it means?
Any more likely for girl, and my last name though, before I married Keith, was have different meaning, special meaning. That's we call it the last girl in the family. I don't know what does that exactly mean, but my parents chose that name, and I was the only girl in the family. Happened I was the first.
The only one, the first and the last.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, the new people coming in, they a lot more aware of the past and the present and the future. You want to go back to. So, at what time did you discover the past life connection? Let's go there for a minute.
Well, since 1998, when I met Randy Shaw, our mutual friend, I then began to work with Reiki, and that opened me up to a whole new sort of awareness. And then we began to work with the past life connections and a lot of other different connections, and then Annie began to really do Reiki and open herself up to connecting with higher energies, and that whole story began to take shape and take form, and we began to understand our relationships. And where that comes at a much deeper level. I think once you begin to look, you see it.
Yes, I also find more understand about myself. About myself, because before I wasn't sure exactly that I should, we should live in America or we should go back to Indonesia.
Don't hit him, I can.
We should go back to Indonesia, and I keep basically. Change my mind whether we want to buy a house and property here or we will buy a house in Indonesia. But before we make decision, I learn about Reiki and found past life and everything. So I think that is the reason I met Keith, because we have a history together way back, and then there is reason I'm here. There is reason why reborn as a different culture in Indonesia, because all of this will bring me where I am today.
See, had you been born in Elma, he would have never talked to you.
That's true.
Probably.
We were talking about in the capacity of others the other day. See, so many people, no matter where we're born in the world, we all going to end up where we're supposed to be. And we are all part of the future. Really, but if she'd have been in Elma, you wouldn't be sitting here. You would have
too
to
close. And you look at that. I mean, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, in a sense. Traveling all the way across the world, meeting her in a fairly remote spot, and connecting almost immediately, getting married, and then
in 5 days.
And then
in 5 days, and it doesn't matter where we live. If we follow that genetic, help me. That's what I'm looking for. You just go
that
with
connection.
it.
Yeah, we're connected, and we're going to be drawn together no matter what.
No matter what, yeah. So he thought it was all his ideas. Yeah. What do you want for your children? If you had a choice, not that you do, but what is it you like for your children and their future?
For me, no matter what they decide in their life, I want to give them all the opportunities to be the best they can be, whatever that is, whatever they choose. And so I want to give them the openness and the information for them to choose whatever they want to be and have that knowledge to make those choices.
Same for you?
Yeah. Well, I guess I think I've become a better, parent, mothers for my kid than if I'm not in light of, learning about all of this spiritual and everything. I probably will seem caught up with a lot of what old belief, But now I look at myself as a better parent, I think, more open.
And this is 2005. Are you open for business at your place?
Yes,
You are?
Yep. And this summer,
Is it affordable?
very, very affordable. In fact, because I have another job that I'm able to help support, I'm able to make it even more affordable that way. And it's more important for us to give and to give people the opportunity at this point in our life. So we're really happy to be able to do that and to give our time and our space and everything.
Yeah, in location Elma is off of 101. Is that
It's right off of Highway 8, I believe, because you can take 101 near Olympia. We're about 40 minutes from Olympia, and we're in between Olympia and Aberdeen.
I believe that, yeah, you go right by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see in my mind it's 101 from here all the way to the ocean,
Yeah.
which is not true, yeah. On your webpage, I was looking at your webpage, was that you said had a map on it, I believe?
Yes, there's maps and directions.
Yeah. And into your book, we're going to talk about your book here next time, but your book is available pretty much around. Yeah, here back to, I'm just fascinated with the shots from New Guinea. That's what I resonate to. It's amazing how we all meet and.
Yeah, and the people in New Guinea were just so beautiful and so incredible. They could just be walking along, all of a sudden breaking out in song and singing. They just had this incredible lightness of heart because they weren't encumbered by so much that we're encumbered by. All the Western trappings that we have, having to go to work and get into debt and, the materialistic aspects of things. They had a very traditional house, which they built from themselves. And if they had one thing, it was theirs. If they had two things, they would share it.
Right.
And so it was a very sharing type of society, and everybody was very open, and everybody would get together to help build a house. Everybody, if you had two sets of clothes, you'd give one to somebody who didn't have it. All the elders were taken care of. Everybody had enough to eat. It's beautiful.
Yeah, take a lesson from that here. Hotel Rwanda is out on DVD. I would recommend it. It has violence, but that's the purpose for the movie. You might want to take a look at that, and maybe we can look in our heart and send love and light to all of them. You want to say goodbye real quick? We're going to end you with Moya Kashimbe from Zambia. And say goodbye.
Bye.
You too, say goodbye. See, now you can wave.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Guru, and we'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you next week, so. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Thank you, Lilian.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
see
you.
That? We can do this. Thank you, Miss Vivian. Thank you, Bernie. Wave. It's the UFO, see?